So, some very interesting news coming out of Arizona this morning. A great piece of information to start out the video with is that the Cardinals have let go of Cliff Kingsbury. It was only a matter of time before this happened, and I am glad that they had this. And they knew it was coming after this year, but regardless of his extension, he has been let go, and I can't wait to see what Arizona has in store for next season as well. Anyway, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to The Sports Lovers, where we talk all things sports. And today it is going to be my NFL Week 18 reactions. We try to do these weekly. Obviously, the playoff field has been set, and we're going to talk about the playoff field in a future video this week. So, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. If you guys want to stay up to date on everything in the sports world, let's just hop right into the video because I have to get off because the national championship game is tonight, and I will be watching in about half an hour or so the pregame starts. So I have to get this video down quick. Alright, so the first Saturday game is the Chiefs and the Raiders, and it is exactly as what was predicted. Mahomes went off 18 for 26, 200 yards, and a touchdown. Their leading rusher was Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know who that is. 8 carries for 64 yards and a touchdown. The rushing core had 3 touchdowns. Mahomes won, Ronald Jones won, and Pacheco won as well. Or Kadarius Toney, not Mahomes. But the one receiving touchdown was McKinnon. So obviously it was a good day for the Chiefs. And yeah, it was just a good all-around day for the Chiefs. Moving on to the Raiders side of things, Jarrett Stidham was 22 for 36, 219 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, so not that bad of a day. Take a look at their receiving. Hunter Renfrow had a touchdown. That was their only touchdown of the day, I believe. But, again, the Raiders just lost that game because they weren't really playing for anything, just about as we expected. Moving on to the next game. And the next game is the Titans and the Jaguars. I am happy that the Jaguars won. I got that prediction right. And Trevor Lawrence did not have that great of a day either. But I watched a little bit, and it didn't look like Trevor had a good game. But Tennessee didn't have a good game either. And I'm so glad that Tennessee lost this game because obviously that would have been another losing team. And a team with a losing record in the playoffs. But Joshua Dobbs was 20 for 29, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Derrick Henry, 109 yards on the ground for 30 carries. Not that bad of a day either. Their only touchdown was Okonkwo, who obviously was their leading receiver as well. 3 receptions for 42 yards. Moving on to the Jaguars side of things. Trevor Lawrence, 20 for 32, 212 yards, and a touchdown. Travis Etienne, their leading rusher, obviously. He's the starter. Christian Kirk had a touchdown, which was great for him, but they need to do that in the playoffs and get more production out of that offense in the playoffs for this week's matchup against the Chargers. But we'll get into that later. On to the next game. Moving on to the next game, it is the Steelers at the Browns, and it was pretty much what everybody thought it was going to be. The Steelers, Kenny Pickett had a great game. You give Kenny Pickett a couple more years, he's going to be a good, solid quarterback for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin continues his win streak of a 16 straight NFL winning season career. The Browns didn't really have anything to show, but they did end up losing the game. The next game, Bengals and Ravens. The Ravens obviously won, or the Bengals obviously won, meaning that the game did not have to be determined by a coin flip, but the Bengals won, securing that one home wildcard game for this week against these Ravens as well. So they'll play them in a couple of days. Just a quick turnaround, I guess. They don't really need a whole lot of practice, maybe some film breakdown, but that's about it. Up next, the Vikings and the Bears. Everybody thought this would be a trap game, but it was not. And because of that, the Vikings are going to the playoffs. They're the number 3 seed in the playoffs. Kirk showed out again. That's all you got to say. The Bears have the number 1 draft pick, which is crazy to me because the Texans when the Texans win, they lose. I don't know how that works. But the Patriots and the Bills was also a very good game to watch. It was emotional. Nyheim Hines had 2 touchdown receptions, 2 kick return receptions, not touchdown receptions. 2 kick returns on the day for 2 touchdowns as well, which was just crazy for DeMar. A lot of threes in this game as well. Finished the season 13-3 for the Bills. might I add. They scored 35 points as well. And obviously, it was just a great day for the Bills offensively. The Patriots weren't going to beat the Bills because of what happened this past week. But that's just the Bills game for you right there. The Bills look scary when their offense is good. And I believe that will show up this week against Miami as well. Moving on is Miami, and the Dolphins didn't look that great either. 11-6 was the final score, which was absolutely crazy. The Dolphins are going to the playoffs, yes, but they did not look good. Their defense didn't look good. Their offense didn't look good either. I'm wondering if Tua will come back for the playoffs. That will be talked about on Thursday's video as well. But the next game is the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Obviously, the Falcons whooped up on the Buccaneers. Obviously, they rested Tom Brady. Mike Evans didn't even play. They rested Tom. So, yeah, they just rested Tom. They rested all of their starters. I think Tom played for, a half? Let me know in the comments. But the Falcons blew out the Bucs in the regular season finale. Moving on to my game the local game that I watched was the Panthers and the Saints. Not really a whole lot to talk about there. Sam Darnold has been Sam Darnold. Obviously throwing for 2 interceptions on the day, but he did have a touchdown. So thank you for that. But we did end up getting the win, sweeping New Orleans. We swept our division rivals finally, but ultimately not a great season for the Carolina Panthers as we are not making the playoffs. But next year, we should be back and ready to go. Maybe Wilkes will be under the coaching. We'll get the coaching honors, hopefully, for next season. Moving on to the Texans and the Colts. It is funny when the Texans win, they actually lose. But I do want to talk about this game because Davis Mills went off in this game. He had, 300 yards, I want to say. But the Colts also, offense looked great as well. The Colts have a top 10 draft pick as well, so expect the Colts to be good next year. Their defense isn't that bad either, but expect the Colts to be not that great next year. I would assume that they would be good next year. Moving on, the Cardinals and the 49ers, that was what everybody talked about. I'm just going to touch on that game really quick because the next game I want to get into detail about a little bit. The 49ers blew out the Cardinals. That is all that you need to know. It was about what everybody predicted as well. So there you have it. The Cardinals lost to the 49ers badly, and that is the reason why Cliff Kingsbury is out as the Cardinals head coach, and the 49ers are headed to the playoffs, possibly the Super Bowl. Moving on to the next game I wanted to talk about was the Commanders hosting the Cowboys. I don't know what Dak was doing this weekend. Dak did not look good. He had a bit of an off day, as you will. But the Commanders looked great. I don't know what Sam Darnold did over the course of the day. But I do believe that we will be back for the playoffs, I want to say. Maybe we'll get the win in Tampa this time because the Bucs aren't that great offensively or defensively either. Their division is terrible. But hopefully we get the win this week over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which we'll talk about my predictions for later in the video as well. Moving on to the Seahawks and the Rams, it was a great day for these two teams. Obviously, it was a close back-and-forth battle. Geno Smith did not look that great at all. I think he was, 10 for 17 or something. Obviously, they missed the game-winning field goal to win the game in regulation, but he got that second chance to make it in overtime, and he made it in overtime. So there you have it. Seahawks are going to the playoffs, and I wish that it was the Lions going to the playoffs. No offense to Seattle, but I really wanted the Lions to win, and we'll talk about that moving on. But I really wanted the Lions to go to the playoffs. Moving on, the Eagles and the Giants. The Giants just rested everybody. Jalen Hurts played amazing in his return. It's crazy when the run game comes back when Jalen performs, and obviously Jalen performed, so the run game was there this week. But Jalen Hurts, not that bad of a day either. So expect the Eagles in the divisional round to be well rested for their divisional game against whoever it may be, whether that's Dallas, the Jaguars, or somebody else. But just expect it to happen. So there you go. Expect the Eagles to be well rested for their next game. Moving on, the Broncos and the Chargers. The Chargers are a 13-14 win team when they do stuff like they did this weekend. Obviously, Hackett was a good choice of firing Hackett. So obviously it was a great time to be a Broncos fan in the last regular season game. So there you go. The Broncos won that game against the Chargers. Chargers are in the playoffs though. They will be facing the Jags in the first round. There you go. That is the Broncos and the Chargers. The final game is the Lions and the Packers, which I want to touch on. The Packers, the Lions, you successfully, one, you sweat the Packers. Two, you kicked them out of the playoffs, which was amazing. Great job, Detroit. And three, you never gave up on your pride. So a lot of interesting moves that the Lions made during the game as well. Lions fans should be excited about their future next year. I do believe they will get into the playoffs. Just watch. I'm telling you, they will get into the playoffs next year. Lions, 2024, maybe Super Bowl champs. Who knows? That's a bold prediction, but I doubt it. That is all for today's video. Again, I'm going to hop off. I got a national championship game to watch. Obviously, everybody does. I'm rooting for TCU. Got my Texas stuff on. Obviously, it's not really TCU, but it's the Cowboys, who are about 30 minutes out from Fort Worth as well. So I will be cheering for TCU, and I picked Georgia to win, but I just don't see TCU winning this game as well. So I'm going to hop off, go get ready for the game. But let me know what you guys thought about these reactions in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys want to stay up to date on all things sports. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Enjoy the game tonight if you are watching. Also, Ant-Man trailer reaction. It's not really sports, but we will do it just because I am a huge Marvel fan. We will have that reaction video out as well if you guys are into Marvel. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Laters, guys.